Sorry it's been a while between uploads, but I get sick of telling you the same thing over and over again. The stories may change, time may go on, but the song remains the same. Amazon smart home, right? And now I've never seen one of these, but apparently it's one of these things where your entire home is basically run through the cloud and all your appliances and shit, including your lights and your locks and all that shit, are tied into like a cloud function, some kind of app, so that you can do all this fucking shit with your smartphone so that you can feel like you live in the future. Well, what does the future look like? The future looks like you have some kind of novelty doorbell, your Amazon sponsored government listening device detects that your doorbell sounds racist. So it shuts down all the appliances in your home, including your lights. And this is somehow considered legal. Now, given that the law barely exists in this country and that corporations like Amazon are staffed by thousands of high-priced attorneys on retainer, I have to assume that somehow, in current day, it is actually legal. That apparently if you get an Amazon smart home, you sign away the rights to your personal property and your access to city utilities. If you consent to have a smartphone, you no longer have a home or property. Sounds like maybe being a Luddite is kind of based and that maybe you shouldn't be getting this kind of technology that can be abused. But a lot of people are afraid when they hear cloud ran, internet hooked up appliance, whatever the fuck. They're scared of a hacker, like turning their refrigerator into a bomb or something. They're not afraid of the company that makes this device assaulting them and destroying their property over a racist doorbell. Even scarier is the victim of this assault, this crime, wanted to communicate with Amazon and tell them, no, this is a misunderstanding. Your spy device that you illegally listened to me on misheard my doorbell. Please don't, sever our business relationship or whatever the fuck is owning property these days, whatever our end user license agreement contract, for me to pretend that I own the things I bought from you. I'm not actually a racist, and in fact, if you are indeed able to attack my home, if I was racist, well, that's only for the real racists. I'm not a racist. How fucking stupid are you? And then to add an extra layer of this, if you go and say, watch Tim Pool or Luis Rossmann or something talk about this topic, you're going to see thousands upon thousands of people saying, don't blame the government for this. This is corporatism. No, it's not. No, it's not. Every single piece of smart technology you have, from your cell phone to your iPad to your laptop to your Amazon Echo or whatever, all of it's backdoored by the government. And the government is listening. Your emails, everything. You think under the Bill of Rights that you have a right to privacy and a right against illegal search and seizure. Well, the Constitution is apparently just a piece of paper. And if you think you have the right to just say whatever the fuck you want, and that even though FCC regulation dictates that just because they haven't specifically fucking said so, technically, your ISP can't cancel you if you do dumb shit on the internet. Your phone company can't. Your cell phone company can't. But for some reason, despite the fact that this is the way all utilities, all publicly necessary amenities that are still business ran and in the private sector are supposed to not be able to do that. If there's one thing that the government is right in intervening in, is to stop companies from discriminating hostilely on arbitrary means. It's technically extremely illegal, and what Amazon has actually done to this guy is actually a hate crime. Actually, it literally is under the fucking letter of the law. It's a hate crime. But somehow the internet just isn't subject to these regulations. And somehow banks and shit like that are not, and apparently Amazon is immune from the law as well. And people think that this is a corporation violating the law, but the thing is, this is a corporation violating the law on behalf of the government. I've said in previous videos, you think that Twitter censored a bunch of conservatives because Jack Dorsey is some libtard from California or something. Wrong. The FBI ordered them to do it. You think Mark Zuckerberg canceled a bunch of people off Facebook because he's a libtard and blah, blah, blah. The government, through the FBI and the Department of Justice, ordered him to do it. You think that Intel and Dell and HP and all, whatever the fuck, Apple, whatever the fuck, has installed backdoors that illegally record your information and send your fucking emails and shit off to NSA servers under the fucking prison program. You think they did that because they're ran by a bunch of libtards. The government is absolutely 100,000% the perpetrators behind this, okay? So if you think the Fourth Amendment is real, you are wrong. If you think the First Amendment is real, you are wrong. If you think the Sixth Amendment is real, when you get sent to jail for preaching at a gay pride parade using your same right to demonstrate as the gay pride parade itself is using, and you are arrested the second you open your mouth by police who are just waiting for you to say the word God. And this is coming from an atheist, by the way. If you think you have that right, you are wrong. You do not live in a free republic or democracy. You live in a oligarchy. You live in a fucking dystopian oligarchy. You live in an occupied government. The politicians, by the way, are not in any way separate from the corporations just because they're doing the ordering, okay? They are one and the same entity. Fucking Amazon is Hollywood, is Congress, is the president, is every lobbyist organization you can fucking think of. You live in a pure fucking klepto fucking aristocracy. It's like George Carlin, the great Jewish asshole libtard comedian, said, it's a big club and you're not in it. And a bunch of conservatives think just trying to remind libtards that the government can, will, and actively does abuse these violations of the Constitution against libtards means libtards will grow the fuck up and realize that the blade has two edges and can cut both ways. They don't care. They don't care. Okay? There is no parodying reality. You have state-enforced homosexuality, which, 7 years ago when Sam Hyde did that fake TED Talk skit in the fucking weird-looking Roman armor and said state-enforced homosexuality, you thought he was joking. He was serious, and people who were paying attention back then could see it coming down the road. And I wasn't even one of those people that far back, but I wisened up fairly quick a few years ago. This is not new to me. What Amazon is doing is not new, okay? It's not radical, it's not unprecedented. It is a daily, if not minutely, occurrence. The government violates your constitutional right thousands of times a day. Divide that by however many hundreds of millions of Americans. That's billions of treasonous acts against this country per day. Billions. Billions. Depending on how you want to divide that up from just individual persons, shit logged on a Prism server and under the fucking NSA. Whether you want to take it as being arrested for shit you say, with judges throwing out cases that they know are unlawful to throw out, or prosecuting cases they know are unlawful to prosecute, kangaroo courts and shit. You live in whatever nightmare dystopian future you prefer, because you technically live in all of them. You're being hit from every angle. You're being hit by a highly sophisticated, nationless, click of capitalists who, if you think I'm anti-capitalist, have rigged the game to the point where there is no market and there is no competition, therefore there's no capitalism. These are kleptocrats. These are thieves. They control the concept of money itself. They're not just Amazon. They're the bank that you pay Amazon through. They are the currency printers in the Federal Reserve. They are the legislators who make bullshit laws, and when they need to violate existing law or to do something to you that any law says they can or can't do, they just ignore it. If you think legislators passing bullshit bills are the problem, they don't even respect the bills that are not on the list. The law isn't real. The judiciary is corrupted. There is no check or balance that isn't colluding and collaborating in hostile action against the American people. Okay? And it doesn't matter what your politics are. And dude, even as relatively bespoke as my audience is, probably almost all of you don't think what I think politically. Because if you think I'm a conservative just because I am incredibly anti-progressive and massively hostile against everything that is liberal, you're wrong. Because conservatives are just collaborators who pretend to fight these people. And if you think the people that I'm talking about that are the enemy are liberals, they're not. If you think you're fighting an idea, you are wrong. You are fighting people with tangible power. Here's another Sam Hyde quote to leave you with. The world is not dying, it is being killed, and its murderers have names and addresses. You're not fighting an idea, because most of the people who are presenting these ideas that you're very hostile against don't earnestly hold those ideas. Learn what a useful idiot is. It is the greatest weapon of dystopian agents, especially the USSR, chief example of it. Why would you need to put a jackbooted thug on every street corner when you can count on every citizen to inform on and turn against his neighbor, his brother, his father, his mother, his sister? They are all your enemy. Everyone with any amount of power has turned that power into a nepotistic single state, a homogeneous mindset of control and active hostility against capitalism, which has saved the world, against general liberalism. The concept of freedom is what I mean by that, not so much as the concept to regulate every single fucking thing in your daily life and make you pay shitloads of taxes. I mean that unless it is a dire necessity of safety or security in this country, the government should stay the fuck out of it. Not to tax it, not to regulate it, not to make rules about it, not to cry about it, to leave it the fuck alone. That world is gone. That world is long gone, but it's extra super fucking dead now. The corpse is mummified. There ain't even any more skin on that shit, it's bones. Okay? And it's not an idea, it's not a mistake. It is by design. And indeed, you must beware, especially online, of anybody presuming to be fighting on your behalf. Because a lot of these guys are CIA glow-in-the-dark niggers. They're feds, okay, that are looking to draw you in and entrap you and either A, steer you away from the answer to who is doing this to you and why, and what to do about it, or to make you do something very foolish so that you and anybody who thinks like you that you know that you might have roped into something are all sent to prison where you will await trial, like the January 6 people, for going on 3 years with no charge. And the reason why they're allowed to do that is because you don't have any rights. You haven't had any rights since September, or was it January or February of 2002 when they introduced the Patriot Act, which has been renewed and renewed and renewed to this day. Which means if the government says you're a terrorist, you have no rights. You're no longer a citizen of the United States. They can throw you in Guantanamo Bay next to Ahmed and fucking do whatever the fuck they want to you. Okay? And they don't even have to do that anymore, okay? Because they've got half the people thinking it's okay for them to violate anybody's rights whenever the fuck they want, and they got a bunch of fucking idiots like you saying it's not the government doing it, it's corporations. No, it's not. There is no free market. Stop lying to yourself. They are one and the same entity, okay? Politics is bullshit. The left and the right wings aren't even fucking real. It's you versus the man. And if that sounds simplistic and it can't possibly be right, I mean, too bad. It's the truth. It's you versus them. And they fucking hate you. And they will kill you if they can. And the only reason why America isn't far, far worse than it is because the government knows if they push too hard, too fast, there are more guns than people in the United States. And the only real baffling question isn't how did America get this bad, but how come it isn't even worse everywhere where people never had the rights that Americans are supposed to have and have never had the ability to defend themselves than America has? Why is it not even worse there? Because they just really don't want you paying attention. Because you can talk so much about this kind of weapon or that kind of weapon or this kind of danger or that kind of danger. There's only one thing that the government really, really fucking fears. And it's not a gun. It's not a kind of violence at all. It's just information. Because I hold that it's a fact that if every single American woke up tomorrow and was imbued with the knowledge of what the national budget is and what we actually spend money on and what the government's actually done to strip everybody's rights, and not just my rights, but the BLM dudes who are sick of getting kicked around by the cops, to the guy who's sick of the fucking government reading his mail, the people are sick of having to fucking bite their words in PTA meetings, whatever the fuck. Take anything where government overreach is fucked with everybody. If everyone realized that the whole Republican versus Democrat thing is horse fucking shit, it's not real. They're all in on it and they all hate you and they're all trying to fuck all of you. If everyone knew it, we would march hand in hand with torches and pitchforks and burn the fucking Capitol down. Not saying we should do that, because that'd be a terroristic threat, and of course I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if everyone was aware that the government is undeniably your fucking enemy, and it's not just the government, it's the corporations who work hand in hand with them, the media who works hand in hand with them. It's Animal Farm. It's not 1984, it's Animal Farm. When you look from the pig to the man and nobody can tell which is which. They're all the pig. They're all the fucking pig. Wake the fuck up. They are all the pig. And they will sell you, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of who you vote for, and regardless of which kind of flag you fly from the fucking flag stand in your house, they will send you to the glue factory, fucker. You